This is Past the Rust.
I'm a man!
That's right.
Humbo.
That song only means one thing: college football.
Bumba.
So we are back. We are here with the Luchador LCs, with Mr. North Texas, Jacob, a.k.a. Bethke. Let's get into the week that was college football.
The foosball.
My second favorite type of foosball.
Oh, we
brand
got
new AP Top 25.
Yeah, this is like the first week where I think it's actually interesting in any capacity.
Starting to level out into the teams that are actually better than the other teams.
A lot of O's and a lot of U's in the top five. If you look at that,
I can buy the first three. I feel fine about the next two.
It
I
definitely feels like the top two. I would say the top two feels secure, and then the rest feels like a crapshoot.
No, three. Yeah, I think
Maybe.
Miami has definitely looked better than the other two teams, but I do think Oregon's good, and Ohio State's defense is nasty. But I honestly think Canes might even be one. But we'll get to all of that as we go. People will get the chance to prove themselves or not. As of right now, we're still trying to decide how the outer ranks of these conferences work. You know, some of the teams who maybe had a bad year last year that are going to bounce back, maybe that are looking to repeat. So we find out. Last week, Thursday wasn't very interesting. Friday was pretty good, though, actually. So if you got to watch Friday football, this was probably one of the few Fridays that you actually got maybe as good of a day as you got Saturday. We had TCU, Arizona State in this one. That was the later of the games, but that was the one I told you guys to watch going into it. TCU ends up kind of choking this one away. Really did like what TCU was doing this season to start. Didn't get a lot of the vibes that they're really there to compete with the upper class of the Big 12 this year, if I'm being honest.
Not enough scoring.
It was just a lot of things where, like, I think they have a lot of fine talent, but they kind of got manhandled in this game in ways that I didn't like from a team that I thought had a little bit better shot. The gritty Sun Devils are a thing, though. The Sun Devils are going to play ugly games, and they're just going to find a way to win most of the time.
Yeah, their leading rusher had 21 carries for 134 yards. That's a grind him out.
Was that Kanye?
R. Brown.
Oh,
Malik Brown.
They have a running back named Kanye.
Man, and you know what?
Into that era.
What really adds to Arizona State is just kind of the borderline, like, arrogant jackass, like, aura of Sam Levitt. Really,
Dude, he's a really fun player. I do get why people want to mock him high. I also get why NFL GMs will be goddamn terrified.
27 to 39 for I lost it. 291 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He's a roller coaster, and there's a few quarterbacks we're going to describe as being roller coasters, but he is one of the more exciting roller coasters in college football right now. I will give Levitt that, and maybe even the most exciting by the end of it. I do think that Arizona State is a very gritty, fun defense that will keep them in games. Their offense is a kind of a clusterfuck, but that kid is so talented that he just needs to put more points on the board than the other team. That game, like I said, was supposed to be sort of the game of the week, and I think, or the game of the night, and I think a lot of times it would have been. Unfortunately, there was 2 other games that night that were quite more interesting.
Including a big upset.
Big upset with Florida State in Charlottesville. No tiki torches involved this time, but the Virginia Cavs were led by a crazy white boy, probably from Texas, and those old guys' case too, but this case just Chandler Morris.
Oh man, Chandler.
This was a weird one. Cavs sort of were able to run away with it early. Then they got overtook after they got caught up on. Then they were sort of able to recapture it at the end. Then they let Florida State tie it. So you're like, okay, they're going to lose this game. But there was a couple of things that didn't quite go the way that you would like for it to go. If you're a Knowles
interceptions
fan.
for old Chandler Morris.
Chandler, no, we're going to talk about the roller coaster. That's why I say roller coaster players. When you talk about Chandler Morris, this is exactly the experience we had at UNC last year. Is this guy is so much fun and electric, can score quickly, can do it running, throwing. But there's almost a given that if he's going to throw the ball a lot, it comes like per 10 attempts comes an interception. And so it just kind of continued to be a part of this. Didn't cost them in this game. Another thing that didn't cost them in this game, their coach didn't know that you had to go for 2 and was bailed out by the clock or however the situation was, and they were allowed to attempt to go for 2, and they didn't succeed in that. But this was, did you snag the Florida State drop at the end of this game?
No.
Not the best. I wish I had, I'd have to mold 2 of them together, and I was too lazy for all that. But sure, that shit is muted. Yeah, so this one's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Look at him. He's gonna
Who is that?
So that's Florida State. This is former 5-star recruit Deuce Robinson from Southern Cal.
He had an incredible game.
Hell of a game. Had a chance to would have tied it. Then they would have needed to go for 2 actually. So it did end up matter because the Cavs did get the 2-point conversion as well. So yeah, what you don't see, I guess, what right here is probably the best. Really should have had it. Bobbles off the chest, and then this one just a little bit in the air. And then you get another chance right here that somehow still he does not get down. The ball is still sort of shimmying in his hands, kind of clearly from the smaller views. So tough one there.
Did you note anything about the running in this game? Because both defenses just allowed each other to gash each other allowed each offense to gash them on the ground, man. You got two teams running for 200 plus yards.
It's interesting because it's not any one guy.
And it wasn't
which is a good thing in college football. In college football, you should not monopolize the backfield, I feel like. Even if you're in Alabama or whatever, you really should have a staple of guys because it's like the best way to win.
Virginia gave every single carry to their main guy. He just only got 99 yards.
Yeah, but as a team, they had
quite a lot of
11,
rushing yards.
That's pretty good.
No, and I think that's a fair way to look at it. It's just this Florida State team, little overrated. Got the Alabama win. We'll talk about them. It is what it is. This Cavs team is just fun. They're ACC fun. And the ACC is just a weird conference this year outside of Miami, who we do feel like might just run that conference, pretty easily this year. Ultimately, this was the biggest part of the game. To belabor it to that point, it's just the field storming. To some people, actually, were poo-pooing this. I was a little surprised by that. I thought it was pretty cool.
It is one of the more dangerous ones we've seen.
Very dangerous. Watch the receiver just go away.
There's no. I don't even understand how their stadium's constructed to where there's nothing to stop those fans from doing that.
Now we know SEC mentality is similar to the Cowboys-Yankees mentality, but I was cracking up that people were bitching about how this wasn't as cool. Like, oh, those Virginia fans don't know how to storm the field. And you're just like, all right, man, I don't know. Like, this looks pretty fucking deadly. It looks like this is pretty dangerous.
This looks like what you more expect when you think of a field storming. It feels like an actual swarm, not like 10 minutes later everyone gets over that wall.
And I think this was in comparison to Vandy beating Bama last year, which was pretty awesome. But Vandy beat Bama. They did some funny stuff there. But that was awesome because we got the Black Hawk, the helicopter video.
Yeah, we had police radar clips, and
we just got a very funny view of that we've never seen before. So that was a part of the novelty. But anyway, I thought the Cavs had a decent situation there. You got this situation that comes out of that. That's
No,
a
that's
tough one.
incredible. That's
a
an
really
incredible
really tough one. And then what else? Yeah. Oh, and then you have this one. That was fun.
That's funny. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's good.
For the listening audience, there's a man doing a yoga pose on top of the field goal post.
Yeah, that is basically what that is there. And then the other one was just a fan flipping him off. And I didn't get the picture. There's actually, as you can tell, a picture from the other angle because that guy's taking a picture. And so there is a version of that where they're just side by side on the internet. So yeah, Florida State, it's tough, but you're probably good this year still. You know, ACC is kind of wide open.
I think we are over field stormed.
Yeah, I mean, that's never going to stop. Yeah, I definitely think that's a fair point to have, but also get used to it.
Yeah. Also, I feel like this one was earned for Virginia because I don't think they ever really have big upsets. You never really hear about the Virginia.
They invested a lot. That's a good way to look at. Yes, they did invest a lot, including into Chandler Morris. And then this was the other game. Houston is now 4-0, guys. We'll talk about who they play next week. This is they blocked a kick that Oregon State could have won in regulation. Malik Murphy is Oregon State's quarterback, by the way. Connor Weigman is Houston. So ex-Texas and Texas A&M transfer quarterbacks here in this one. So kicker for Houston wins the game. And then how do we like this? Do we like this bravado from the kicker?
Is 92 the kicker?
Yep.
No, you know what? Let him have it. Let him have it.
Those are fines in the NFL. You can't point your fingers at
that's hilarious. Listen, there's nothing.
No, I think that even in the NFL, we would have to allow this.
No tolerance.
For the kicker alone,
for the kicker, the bravado of the kicker.
No,
to go out there, the guy
oh, sweet, a guy we can find that no one will give a shit about.
Or a guy you will just let him get away with and create more content that way.
I'm telling you. All right, so that was Friday. We had a good start to the weekend. Saturday was an absolute blast. Lots of things to talk about here. Not as many highlights from me. Stop me at any point if you do. We're going to start with USC and Illinois. 34-32, the Illini win this game. Very disappointing for the Lincoln Riley era in Southern Cal. Early turnover let the Illini kind of get control of this one. Late surge wasn't enough for the Trojans. They were actually up 32-31, but left a minute and almost 2 minutes and 3 timeouts. And then basically just got run up the gut by Illinois the entire time.
What happened?
Not good. Yeah. So a lot of the problems with Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma teams and what we already knew was going to happen in USC because he was rebuilding that program's talent, still a problem this far into the equation. Illini didn't even need 2 of those timeouts to get to the 20-yard line on mostly rushes, by the way. So really can't emphasize how much the Trojans couldn't stop the run. Brett Bielema had a great day, right? I mean, he got waxed by Indiana. Then it's like, okay, I got nothing but 7th stringers on my secondary. We're going to figure this out. Beat USC impressively, right? Impose your will, stifle the offense, all that good stuff. But it got a little bit better for him because at the same time, Notre Dame was pummeling Arkansas into the ground in what would eventually be a 56-13 game. Sam Pittman was later fired a couple days after, if that.
28 points in the second quarter. It's a rough look for everybody.
And it's not just that Sam Pittman got fired. It's who immediately replaced him.
Oh, good. I can hear the motorcycle from here.
That's right, boys. Bobby Petrino is back in Fayetteville as the man in charge.
I'll be right back. Y'all
now, was he the offensive coordinator? Is that right?
He was the offensive coordinator. That is correct. Sam Pittman made the choice to put his own potential saboteur at the hands of the offense. And yeah, I mean, look, Bobby Petrino's offense has been as bad as the defense. So that's part of why Sam Pittman is in this place here, right?
Yeah.
Bobby Petrino is very much not likely to be the Arkansas head coach next year. But at the same time, we all can enjoy and laugh that Bobby Petrino is back as the head coach of the team that he once famously.
Oh God! Look, For anybody who doesn't remember the Bobby Petrino era, let's just talk about how it started, okay? Because it started with that man writing a handwritten letter to his team. Well, not even handwritten. I'm sure he just typed it out, print, copied, and just said, "Thanks, guys, I'm out."
You're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, is who he did
with
that.
the Atlanta Falcons, right? Now, he took that job assuming that he would have Michael Vick, in prison during this time.
Yeah.
And then he just fucking dipped.
He's like, you know what? Arkansas, they got Walmart money.
I mean, yeah. They
certainly expectations.
Do. And Jerry Jones money, too.
Right, you have Jerry Jones as a part of it. You also have...
he doesn't seem to put a lot of money into that.
Well, and that's fair, but this is the big conversation that's been had. Their AD came out when he addressed the press, and he said that Sam Pittman was working with some of the worst funds in the SEC.
Yeah.
Many read that to wonder, why would Arkansas be so poor? Jerry Jones, you have the Tyson Chicken, you have Walmart, right? You have all these things. And Patrick, you're looking up how much these guys donate, but that doesn't matter. I think the theory that Sam Pittman was not inspiring money.
Yeah.
Why I say this? Look at what Arkansas just did in basketball. Did they overpay for a potentially washed and maybe overrated coach, depending on how you want to view it, in John Calipari? So I guess. But you could also look at that as stealing Kentucky, the biggest blue blood in basketball next to Duke. Their head coach, while he's still fairly at his peak of his recruiting powers, at least to some extent, Kentucky basketball really had not won a whole lot of meaningful postseason games, but NBA recruit after another, right? So Arkansas put out the money to get the basketball program on point. I wouldn't be surprised if they do this year. And as much as I want to laugh at Oklahoma State when they Photoshop Nick Saban, or didn't Saban coach for this for Oklahoma State at one point in his life? Maybe I'm tripping. Either way, when I see as not as a head coach, but as like an assistant or something back in the day. No. Okay.
You might be thinking of Kent State or Ohio State.
Yeah, he had some. Okay. Anyway, either way, when when Oklahoma State starts photoshopping Nick Saban into stuff, I'm laughing. When Arkansas does it, I'm laughing, but I'm pausing a little bit before I laugh. Okay, just because like if I'm Saban and I don't like ESPN, that is kind of a low pressure, high paying job. If I am Nick Saban, though, job. if I'm Nick Saban, I'm probably really chill with the ESPN gig. And I do think that's the reality for him.
Yeah.
But either way, he's going to always come up.
Much easier work.
He's an able-bodied man for his age, but I think it's reasonable to think he's not going to continue to want to desire that. He has a great job, and he's honestly pretty good at TV. South Alabama, UNT. Game of the week for most people around the world.
That's true, man.
This one wasn't perfect. It was
caught the end of it at a bar, and there was at least one guy screaming at the TV.
Well, I guess a couple of things could come into this.
It was a home game, so a lot of people were there.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm not saying I expect a large turnout to UNT. I understand the commuter school stuff. It's my alma mater. I do understand UNT. It
has a little more to do with South Alabama than it does UNT.
I Brian Harsin, not a draw. I get that. Okay. But it was a beautiful day. The team is undefeated for the first time since 1950 something.
1959 was the last time that this school started 5-0.
Jesus.
So I am a little disappointed, and I'm going to put the blame on people like me. If you're alumni in the area, we do have to start trying to come to some of these games if it's going to be useful. I do think that, and I'm bringing this up to be speculative, to be excited, but I was listening to someone talk about the realignment for the conferences and how it's inevitable. We all know that there will be super conference, maybe potentially 2 really NFL minor league super conferences, and then everyone else pulling up in a different thing, right? That's possible. It could also just be that most people start looking at this and say, hey, it actually is stupid for us to be playing this. And we go back to maybe Boise helps the West Coast. Boise and UNLV are good enough programs by then to when we could start having a West Coast side, and then the South maybe divides back up. We might have these. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I think programs like North Texas are going to be able to spend a little bit more money and then be more considered what Big 12 status is. And I don't know what the Big 12 would look like. It's possible that this Big 12 would have Texas Tech in the SEC or something. But it's going to be the future for many teams. And I do think UNT is one of those schools that has dwelled in the bottom conferences. If you remember, we were in the Sun Belt originally when we got to school.
Yep.
Obviously, we were probably in many things before that, but in the Sun Belt, whenever I got there, and then we went over to Conference USA, and then almost immediately we were super excited about Conference USA, but then that's when we found out that meant that every other good team in Conference USA was going up a level.
Yeah,
and then the conference became a thing, and here we are today.
It shouldn't be underscored though, and I know you are kind of alluding to the program and the success right now, and what could potentially be the upward trajectory of sorts. But I think
TCU light.
I would be okay with that, because that there is some level of sustained success which UNT has famously not had almost ever. I mean, we do look back at that late 2010s run when Mason Fine was the quarterback, and you did have winning records, and you did go to bowl games, but you didn't actually won any of those bowl games.
Lost all of them, yeah.
Lost all of them, and you went to at least 2 of those with a losing record. So you came out with an even worse record after the
I think there's differences in guys, too. I think Eric Morris is just more substantial as a coach candidate, both for the North Texas Mean Green and potentially other schools, than Seth Luttrell was. I think Seth was a really good offensive coach. I think he was really good at bringing a recruiting pop into like new blood, because McCarney was just this very old. He was basically McCarney was what was Kansas State's guy, Dan Snyder. Yeah. He was basically just a Dan Snyder disciple, and it was just, we're going to get all the transfers, and we're just going to try every 4 years. We're going to have a team that might go 6-6 kind of football, And now,
and listen, Dan McCarney, bless the guy, he gave us arguably the best season in UNT football in years.
I don't mean that he was right for doing that in the era he did it.
Oh, for sure.
But we needed to modernize the program. The logo needed to be modernized. The fucking uniforms, everything about that, how much money, all of it needed to be done. And so
and the recruiting had to change, because, and I want to peel something back. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you remember the quarterback situation that we had during that time, right? We had Drew Thompson, right? And then his backup, who I cannot, McNulty? No, not McNulty.
Oh, yeah, the hipster guy that had there was a McNulty. We did have a McNulty for a little bit, because I definitely had a lot of fun. He
was an unranked prospect from Iowa, which, if Iowa State and Iowa do not want you as a local kid, why would you want to recruit this kid, right? But Dan McCartney, Iowa State guy, comes in, brings him in to kind of just be the successor to Drew Thompson, and that did not work out, right? And then after that, we were in like college QB purgatory. We had not Dijon Mustard, but the guy who last name was Dijon, if I remember correctly.
I know what you're talking about. The fall off for McCartney was bad, and they did it. Like I said, they did a decent job with Luttrell. I think he was a good head coaching candidate. They invested money. They rebuilt the program's aesthetic as much as they rebuilt the other stuff behind the scenes. And it's starting to pay off now with a coach, in my opinion, Eric Morris, who is a substantial coach and may not be ready to move this year, because there might be a lot of guys moving this year with the job opportunities coming. But I do think that, Eric Morris is going to be a sought-after guy.
Yeah. I just hope he can capitalize on this season, because I look at the rest of the schedule and I'm like, man, the road to that Navy game isn't that arduous.
All I want is a bowl win, man. I'm not even trying to get to the playoff. All that shit is beyond.
I don't care about the playoff. I'm not talking.
American Conference, cool, whatever, dude. Give me a bowl win.
Listen,
that's it. That's the bar.
I have no illusions.
Memphis to win the conference.
I want you to.
Right.
I want to be.
Or Tulane. I think Tulane's still a good team.
I want to be clear on this. I have no illusions of playoff football for this program. They could go undefeated, win their conference. I would absolutely believe they would not get one vote into the playoffs. What I want for this team, though, is like, can we flirt with an undefeated season just to have it, just to say we had it?
I think really, again, watching them grit through a South Alabama game that I felt like if they were better, they probably would have just handled well. I still think there's a lot of things about this team that you shouldn't trust if you're like betting on how much this team's going to win. But again, I think that Eric Morris has built this is the year for it to pay off. And I'm excited that we've seen this much payoff. Again, one more win and another one at the end of the season would really make this thing perfect. And I know that sounds like a low bar, but that really is where the bar is at North Texas. So
yeah. And just look at that schedule. And I can see a world. I'm not saying that will happen. I have my doubts that it'll happen, but I can see a world where they run the table in the regular season and just finish with an undefeated season that may not be indicative of how good they actually are, which, it says a lot about going undefeated. And you're like, you're probably not as good as your record says you are. But still, I would love to have just that, just one time as a Mean Green alum.
Yeah, we will see. Other notables from the early morning slot, we had Georgia Tech survive Wake Forest. Wake Forest got up in that one 20-3 with 6 minutes left in the third and blew it. Or did they blow it? You guys can be the judge here. We've seen some bad missed calls already this season. I think this one's pretty fair to add on to that list. Again, what are you going to do sometimes? But this is a pretty unfortunate call. So you have 2 minutes left in this one. We've got a 3-point game. Wake has the ball and control, 3rd and 5. All we need to do here is convert, and we can wrap this boy up. And there is no flag here thrown. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was I think it was offsides. I don't know how undisputable it really is.
I mean, I didn't see it at a different angle.
You can't review it either, so it really only matters that it wasn't called in the moment.
Yeah.
Here, I think they give you a little better view here. Yeah, I mean, he looks offsides to me. That looks like there's a whole leg stepped over.
I need to see when the ball moved.
The ball already moved.
He's probably offsides there, yeah.
Yeah, the ball had already moved.
Yeah.
So it definitely feels like an oopsie daisy there on the referee's part because that game goes into overtime.
Is don't be in a spot where one call can ruin your game. But
yeah, and that was another note I made. Wake Forest settled for field goals in a game where they got plenty of turnovers and chances, and that also will fuck you up. So Syracuse beat Clemson. We had a great time with Fran Brown. We talked about how awesome the Q's program is, and then they got beat by Duke 38-3. In their defense, they lost their starting quarterback last week in that Clemson win for the season. So sorry about it, Q's. In the ACC, Louisville emerges after coming back to beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got up 17-0 early,
and then the first proceeded to not score in the second half.
And did you happen to highlight the very notable instance that happened after they went up 17-0? Or we're about to go up 17-0. Yeah, not what you want to see, but hey, you love the football gods for being there quickly to respond.
Is this the guy throwing the ball into the stands? No.
This is not that one yet, actually. This is a ball boy having the ball forcefully moved. And then what goes underrated is whatever this fucking jackass is doing. This number 2. Whoop! Get it, buddy.
They're trying to get the ball into the stands for a fan.
Yeah, no, I get where
the question is that a Louisville ball boy that they're going after?
Yeah, I think I think that's possible too. So I understand this isn't maybe as bad as it looks.
It's a weird highlight for sure.
Or low, I guess.
I definitely think for the football decorum of my team, I'm going to need them to not manhandle the people on the sidelines. It's just how I'm going to need them to handle
unless it's a consensual bit.
Yeah. It's a mascot. You can tee off on the mascots. I'm cool with that. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I have to delay the program for just a millisecond because I hit refresh on Twitter to get out of what I just showed you guys. And then Bobby
Uh-oh.
Petrino, one more Bobby Petrino.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
That was
Kansas is as Kansas does. I thought the Jayhawks may have had a chance to maybe get sneaky and interesting in the Big 12, and then they fucked it up in a shootout to Cincinnati.
They still can. It's only one loss in the conference.
37-34, yeah, but that was the kind of game to show me what kind of Kansas team this is. Got up early in that one, should have had it, handed it. But on that note, not to be a Debbie Downer, Cincinnati, we've all had a lot of things to say about how stupid it is for USC to be in the Big Ten or whatever it is. You know what, Cincinnati? You are a fucking amazing addition to the Big 12. You're everything the Big 12 is about and stands for, and I just want to make sure that they feel acknowledged, is how much Cincinnati has brought me. Like, I've watched a couple of the stupid ones. You know, Texas and Oklahoma are stupid in their own way, but it's sad to see them go to some extent. But having Cincinnati to just take on the stupid yet competent role is really nice. I appreciate this. Afternoon slot was much more interesting. We had the biggest game of the week, I guess, at the end of it. There's a couple options to go there for sure. But LSU Ole Miss was definitely a big one. Kind of a gross game, but that's what the SEC is about. If you're scouting for the NFL, not a game you're going to enjoy. If you're queasy stomach, not a game you might enjoy either, because Lane Kiffin, 40 chess here, boys?
I think so.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and if my gossip is to be understood correctly, that would be the boyfriend of his daughter puking. So I don't know if it's the the Jordan flu game, but
didn't look like it affected him too much.
We're not in the right one, but maybe the Sam Darnold mono graphic would have been great there.
Yeah.
Either way, Rebels look interesting. We talked about the transfer quarterback everyone's super excited about. Didn't look great on this play, but I had to add it. If you have an Ole Miss running Rebels play, stop me now. But I don't know that you would have added this one. I just thought this was great. Again, not one that you're going to say, hey, this is why everyone's excited about the quarterback. But way to stay with it.
That's a nice play by that receiver for sure.
Way to stay with. That's a tight end. That's a big boy tight end right there. So stay with it.
And if you want to give the QB credit, he put it somewhere where only his guy can get it. So
yeah, no, not the worst throw ever, not the best one either. A game that definitely, that was 24-19 reps, by the way. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, not so
the
good.
cannibalism of the SEC this year is going to be nuts.
I mean, it's possible that it's going to be every conference because as I'm talking about ACC, Big 12, all of these teams are sort of finding that it's not as easy to just go undefeated.
No, I think the top of the SEC isn't as ahead as it was for the 15 years before. Now they're just back in the pack with the middle. Whoever the top is kind of in the pack.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of, with the NIL and the transfer portal, I think that maybe SEC programs thought that would help them maintain a level of success because they have so many donors that love football.
The conference is going to have the most teams or second most teams in the playoff every year. So
but
it does, but it obviously still opens the door for Texas Tech to do what they've done. It opens up the door for other schools, Virginia Cavs. Allegedly, I think we're probably going to see Arkansas really open up the purse in a real way. I think that I believe Virginia Tech is going to do the same. So I do think it's interesting to see some of these schools. Like I said, North Texas may not be looking to get to the SEC by any stretch, but they are trying to capitalize on their opportunity as both a big public university and one central and located in the DFW market. So that's just what you do, man. You capitalize on what you got.
Only problem is we don't have any old money alums.
That's true, but that's why you compete in where your weight class is. Texas Tech, they can try to swing because they got oil money that they could better use now, right? Okay, fair enough. You know what I mean?
Depending on how you play that transfer portal, you can you can keep a few good years in a row if you can keep cycling through. It's a lot of work, but you can do it.
And it's important to remember that this wasn't impossible to do pre-NIL. Not to, be too mean to the Aggies, but we do remember the Swagacopter 5-star fuckboy camp that they had with Kevin Sumlin, and it was a fun team. It did a lot of good things. Arguably the highest of all the highs at A&M so far. We'll see what Elko does, but at this point, the Swagacopter only got them so far, and Texas Tech still has to prove consistency and all that other good stuff. But staying on the Aggies, we're not going to be able to show you any highlights from this game because the Aggies didn't need a whole lot of offense to get this one done. 13 is the magic numbers. Final score is 16-10 Aggies. Auburn was 0 for 13 on third downs.
It's a problem.
The score was 13-3 at halftime. Nobody scored in the third quarter. The defense set up Auburn for its lone touchdown. And then gave them a game-winning drive opportunity, of course. Were they ever going to? No. A&M instantly sacked Jackson Arnold and it was over.
0-2 so far in the SEC. Not a great start.
Yeah. Hugh Freeze, former Rebs coach, supposed to be, he revitalized his career. Now he's back in the SEC. Auburn, this is their chance to revitalize. He's 1-10 versus ranked teams. That's just his record, I believe. He's 14-16 overall at Auburn, and he's 5-13 in the SEC. I don't know if that counts Ole Miss. I think that is actually just counting Auburn games. But yeah, not fired, but not good. Similar to another coach we'll talk about in a little bit. Some other games to run down early slate or in the midday slate. Indiana, Iowa. Indiana went and had the big victory last week. Took care of business. They arrived on the scene. Everyone believes in them now. Now you got to go to Iowa and you got to go win a really gross game, and you got to do it with a bunch of cancer patient kids just staring you down. What? And they handle business. This is true, but we'll get into Iowa lore at a different time. Oh, this is how the game ended though. 20-13. This is after Indiana had finally gotten up. It's really nail biter for snooze fest.
They're punting to end the game.
No, this is actually the quarterback.
Oh, they ran this play.
No, yeah, this was a very
the intentional safety. Duh.
This is the intentional safety.
A very dangerous play.
Maybe not as bad of a beat as some are arguing, from what I understand, but I'm not going to pretend like I am the expert in the gambling world.
Yeah, I don't know what the line was there, but
still just funny to see because the clock had ran out well into that.
Yeah, he could have put himself down at any point. Yes,
could have easily went down. So some will be talking about that one, I'm sure. Tennessee, Mississippi State. This was going to be an interesting one. Mississippi State, undefeated at the time, not ranked. Interesting to watch. And then we had Tennessee, one loss, but it was to Georgia, right? Early muffed punt gives the Dogs a chance to get up early. 2 tipped interceptions keep them in the game, but the Volunteers were able to punch the thing in OT, then made a stop. Didn't look like a great game for the Vols and how they stopped physical opponents. And that's probably the biggest takeaway, 41-34 win in overtime. Like I said, glad you got it done, but really thought that Mississippi State showed us something that maybe is actually just true of the Vols' weakness still. Got to be able to handle the trenches well if you're going to win the title. And I think that's something they're still struggling to handle. Buckeyes beat the Huskies pretty handedly in Seattle. Did you happen to get a clip of the worst fake field goal ever?
No, I guess not.
Okay, this was a pretty good one here from a pretty otherwise unmiraculous football game. We have the Cougs. Cougars are, I mean, they started 3-0, right? I mean, this isn't an awful game. It's just I think no one really thought Washington's going to be good. Would help if the guy knew it was a fake or that he was the receiver and maybe not. I just want y'all to see that one more time. Oh, let's not do it with the noise. And again, just watch the blocker right here. Did a great job of blocking.
Toss, yeah.
But I don't think he was supposed to be the one blocking.
Yeah, also,
It looks like he's supposed. I think the ball came out faster than it was supposed to. I think he's supposed to eventually turn around, but he wasn't.
Didn't
Someone
see
was
him.
It just looks so. It looks so weird that he's blocking so upfield for a field goal. At some point, you got to turn around, man.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking maybe he thought he was blocking for a run play.
There's a mistime somewhere in there.
Well, you should note this though. Maybe just take the points, Washington.
I mean, yeah, the score and the time. Although I get it, you're playing the number 1 team. You might not want to settle for field goals when you're that close. But hey.
Virginia Tech beat North Carolina State. Like I said, all good teams must still get through teams that aren't as bad as they used to be in years past. Even if teams are down, they still probably have a decent amount of talent on the roster, the way it keeps all passing around and evening out. 23-21. There was an interesting play. I didn't get it for us to view here, but North Carolina State had a chance to get this thing in field goal range, ends up getting spotted just short of a first down and then not making it on 4th down. So that was interesting. Little call there. Again, not a highlight from this game, but felt like it was worth bringing up to you guys. We usually don't talk about San Diego State or Northern Illinois, but they finished 6-3 this week.
Gross.
This is under 450 yards for both teams combined. And this San Diego State team just beat undefeated Cal last week, like 28-3 or something. So college football. We have Oregon Penn State in the evening game. This one was a double overtime thriller. 17-3 late in the 4th. Penn State rallies back. Everything looks like it. Look, we got the old formation back. This is a old Bobby Petrino formation, or Bobby Petrino.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno. Old Joe Paterno formation from the shower rooms.
An old Sandusky.
Old Sandusky. And then we had some fireworks here at the end. We have a fun little one here. Did you take highlights from this one?
No.
This was only the game of the week.
I've got one highlight, but go ahead and play this.
Yeah, this is the future of the Dallas Cowboys after Dak Prescott's traded for a 7th round pick. Oh, just had it there. Didn't read the defender as second. I guess 2 guys drop. No, one guy just comes over and he didn't see him. And another guy drops.
Yeah.
Woo!
It
Not
happens.
good. Drew Alar. Not as clutch as everyone thought he would be when he got there.
Yeah, man, he has been stagnant as a passer for a while now.
We're gonna do a bit of performance art here on the show. I think if I can manage to do it, we're gonna show James Franklin reacting to his loss, and then I'm gonna read you guys some numbers, some statistics for Mr. James Franklin. 1-15 versus top 5 schools, 4-21 versus top 10 schools, 15-30 versus the top 25, and 4-17 versus Michigan and Ohio State.
It's tough, but somebody's got to be a B tier team.
Yeah,
but no, it's like A- because like they're always in the top 10, they always recruit well, but yes, ultimately the results are the same.
They're the best second tier team out there.
Where did he coach before Penn State? Was it Vanderbilt? I feel like he was at Vanderbilt.
Yes, James Franklin, I believe, did come up from.
He is such a middle team. Like he would be the top dog in a conference with middling programs, right? Because I think that's where he belongs. Just based on the fact that he just cannot beat good teams, and it's not one of those things where you could just say, "Oh, it's hard to be a good team." But when you are out there consistently branded as one of these top upper echelon programs in one of the bigger conferences, it is a huge problem when you cannot beat said good teams. It's one thing if all right, this year you went 0-2, but then the next year you go 1-1 or 2-0. He's never had ups. He's only just had downs when it comes to teams in the top 5, top 10, top 25.
So I think you just made a good point. Maybe there's an issue with downers. Maybe he is more of a downer guy. Maybe he likes to smoke a little weed. Maybe he likes to drink a little booze. You know what I mean? Maybe he needs to consider what Dan Lanning considers when he prepares for a game. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, man.
See,
I think he took chapter bumps.
somehow I don't know how to prove this, and I don't remember where Dan Lanning came. I know he was at Alabama at one point in time in all of this, but what the fuck happened? This is what's dickhead Tom Herman. This is Tom Herman's like cousin who's way better at coaching than him. Yeah. So
Dan Lanning did 1 year as a GA at Alabama.
yeah, and then where did he go?
He was a position coach at Memphis, then Georgia, and then he was DC at Georgia.
So Kirby got him notoriety. Well, it's good you brought up Georgia because we're talking about them this week. We kind of thought that Georgia, not the most convincing dominant start from Georgia, but okay, whatever. We trust the dogs. They play ugly. They got talent. Kirby doesn't mind having a little bit of ugly games. But this one was pretty tough. Kalen DeBoer went from fired most hated man in Tuscaloosa to maybe the most beloved again because
he bought 6 whole days of people not being too mean to him.
I'm going to be honest. Okay, he may not be good with the Tide fans, but Kalen DeBoer has shut me up with this game. I was thoroughly impressed with this situation, not only with the way they win this game and all that good stuff, being in Georgia, all that, but really there was 2 moments to stand out. Did you happen to clip either of the Alabama?
I've got one that you're probably
plays.
Talking about.
You can show us the screen to who's probably going to be a top 10
This is one of
draft pick.
One of our 2 big boy touchdown clips this week.
He did not score on this play.
Oh, sorry, just big boy.
This did bring the ball down to the 1.
He doesn't score on this? You sure?
He does. It goes down to the 1, unfortunately. Yeah, it is ruled down for 1. But incredible play call. Yeah,
before anything hits the ground.
Yeah, they hoed it.
God, look at the big fella move.
Just powered on through. He probably stepped out of bounds. Yeah.
That was a good one. But this is the game. This is the one that sealed the game. By the way, hold on. Let me get my stat. You did get. No.
Oh, look, the tush push.
So you got the unnecessary roughness call that ended up being very controversial. And I do agree, but I don't know. It was this guy, right? They called 1?
Yeah, the guy who dove into the pile after they'd already whistled the play dead.
I'm not that mad at that. They should have. Like, it was goofy, bro.
You can't do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. There was a lot of people that weren't happy with this call on Georgia, but yeah, I felt like that's probably not going to
be happy with the guy being an idiot because they had the stop there, and then
it was so late. Like if he would have started the play jumping, I would have been able.
It was unfortunate also because it's a pretty clean jump. Like he doesn't. Oops, sorry, wrong one. He doesn't touch a lot of people on his way in, but he just happens to go helmet to helmet with the Alabama guy that he does hit.
No. But I did agree, and I'm glad you clipped that because I ended up cutting it. Just didn't want to end up going too long on this if y'all weren't that interested in it, but. It was incredible, and I mean, Ty Simpson, man, give that kid a lot of credit. Maybe NFL scouts are going to be looking at Alabama's quarterback as the number 1 pick in the draft, but we will see.
Look at the grace, the elegance,
the boink. That's the part that really got earned the penalty. But this is how Kalen DeBoer ended the game. A little bit of trickeration, showing those skills. I mean, obviously, he's not the offensive coordinator, but I mean, you're an offensive coach. You get to take credit when your offense does something like that. Faked everybody out, get the first down, and the win. Like I said, Ty Simpson, there were some great throws from him. He looked really good. They have a running back. They did not have a running back for the Florida State game. That's notable. Alabama may be pretty good. I want you guys to know one important stat from this game. This game reached its final score at 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the third quarter.
Oh, my God.
We all saw that Bama LSU national title game. We know what they're capable of.
Kirby is 1-7 versus Bama, but the one was the 2002 national championship. So pretty good one to get.
Carries a lot of weight.
It is. This game sucked. Iowa State beat the shit out of Arizona. We thought, hey, maybe Arizona's interesting in the Big 12. Nah, Iowa State's still pretty good, so we know that. How good, we'll see. Just wanted to share this because this is the kind of stuff that makes me enjoy college football atmosphere. You'll see it in baseball plenty, right? So an extra point was made, and then it got thrown all the way up, and you're going to see it here in just a second. Oh, he's got it. Yoink! Get that motherfucker out of there.
Did he throw it behind himself?
Yeah, he yoinked that shit right on out the stadium.
Because Arizona, wrong. You're supposed to put it back on the field.
No, yeah, but that was fun, dude. Arizona, the fans just got it and just kept passing it back until one dude just yoinked that bitch out. Oh, I appreciated it.
I like it.
And then South Carolina, Kentucky would not have talked about this. Lenore Sellers, definitely a really talented guy. Did you clip this unfortunate incident at all?
I guess not.
Okay. Not a big deal here ultimately, but this is why the players need to be more careful. We see them do this a lot in the pros in college, and they almost hit cheerleaders or they almost hit the sideline reporter. But now I feel like
throwing the ball.
Yeah, now I feel like
I didn't clip it because I didn't see this angle. The angle I saw, you couldn't actually really see what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's just like, come on. It hits the man in the shoulder.
It's a bigger story because isn't that Lenora Sellers' like grandfather?
And you're correct. That is Lenora Sellers' grandfather. Did you happen to?
He was like disabled vet or something like that.
Did you happen to clip Lenora Sellers' best? Yes, he is. Yes, of course, he's in a wheelchair. All of that.
It's just like all the things you don't want in that kind of story. He is.
Yeah. So I get the throwing the football after you score is cool, but like throw it in the ground. Just use your brain. Okay. And then here we go. Lenore Sellers, don't touch my grandpa because I'm going to have to do it to you.
Good guy to be coaching your quarterback.
What?
Jesus.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
Still very possible he's the number one pick in the draft, but we'll see. I mean, South Carolina is not a great football team, but I think he'll probably keep them pretty fun and interesting to watch throughout the SEC season.
I think it's things like that. It's plays like that, right? You're like, okay, you see it. Now you just need somebody else to help him piece it all together.
And you connect, and you compare it to all the other quarterbacks that you're potentially looking at, and you really are like, even though I know there's a lot of other tape to be seen than one little spin move, it's just things like that that's like, all these other guys don't even have that capability. Like they can't do all this other bullshit, and they can't even do that,
Yeah. Man. The draft class this year looks like a lot of pocket QB passes, which is
not even good ones. It looks like a lot of backup quarterbacks, if I'm being honest with people. Late night games, only one to talk about. BYU, Colorado, 24-21 BYU. Colorado up 14-0 early. I guess it's about time to go ahead and be interested in what's the future for Dion, but ultimately, for our time's sake, moving forward, let go of the Colorado Buffalo dream. I think if I'm Dion, I'm not as worried about it. Salvage the season, get a bowl win, come back at Colorado next year and swing the thing. You're still hearing him in Arkansas rumors, which I think is funny. I don't know. Does he need a bigger budget, or is this just
looking at a coach also?
Yeah, I mean, but what is it? If I had it my way, I'll put it this way, since I can't really tell you the future on this, I would encourage him to just. It's not that bad this year. You can get a 6-6, whatever. You can win 6 games and make a bowl game. Win a bowl game with this team. Save face, recruit well, and still compete in the Big 12 next year, and maybe continue to build the program or leave for a better one at that point. But when you lose to a quarterbackless team and you've been kind of juggling quarterbacks, it's tough. So disappointed, heavily disappointed for the Colorado Buffalo Deion Sanders tenure, but doesn't have to be over. that's the weekend review. I believe you have some obscure and fun clips to show us.
Sure, we'll burn through a couple of these pretty quick here. Appalachian State against Boise State.
Of course.
This is the rare self-pass. Quarterback throws right here, tipped, catches himself, keeps it for the first down. Just
Boise.
nice,
Beautiful.
just nice, solid football fun.
Broncos.
Here's the clip I took from the Oregon game. We're just gonna see this guy whoop, and the nice sidearm from Dante there for the touchdown.
Another potential first-round pick. Yeah.
Yeah, Dante Moore's having a pretty good season.
So
I think there's going to be
big
some
play.
fear. I think he's going to unfortunately get some fear from the Mariota, all the other Oregon quarterbacks. But he's talented.
Maybe I think
He's
I
talented.
think Oregon's taken a little more seriously than they used to be, but we'll
I think
see.
they should be.
He's also a little different. I know he has a similar build to those guys, but he plays a little bit different from those guys.
Really interesting prospect.
And then a couple highlights here from the Marshall game. We'll look at our other big boy.
The Thundering Herd.
This one is a big boy touchdown. If you look here on the right end, it's going to tip that ball up, catch it, and somehow he takes that thing all 35 yards into the end zone here.
The Thundering Herd Stampede.
But I'll run that back. You can see the tip at least because he makes the full play himself here. Tip,
I don't want the tip. I want the whole.
catch. And the Raging Cajuns were unfortunate to have been on the wrong side of that and the wrong side of this as the Marshall's quarterback makes an incredible hurdle. Whoop!
Ooh. Yeah, and then definitely paid for a little bit at the end there, but big boy.
Just a nice, clean hurdle. You don't get
He's
too
like
many of those.
He's like we're in the Southwestern Bell Conference.
Next, we have the rare tight end pass off a handoff from Iowa State.
Oh, nice.
You'll see the tight end swing in, take the ball. He's going to pass wide open for the not quite touchdown. Because the
Cyclones,
low,
Red Raiders. Who's coming out of the Big 12?
That was pretty cool. Now, UC Davis versus Weber. Watch these three defenders all stay at home while the slot receiver burns the entire defense.
Oh, I know the safety was mad.
Yeah, you can just see all three of these guys. Someone is supposed to keep with that inside receiver. I don't know whose job it was,
22.
but
100% 22.
It definitely looks like it was his.
And he does the worst job of getting back to.
And last, but not necessarily least, we have Incarnate Word versus Abilene Christian. Fun little interception here. Don't worry, Will Zapruder filmed this thing here. It's tough to follow. That ball's going to stay behind these guys real quick. Then it's going to go off this lineman, off that lineman's helmet, still in the air, off the rolling lineman's legs.
Off his balls, it looked like.
Off the hands and chest of another guy, into the hands of the defender.
Impressive.
That was pretty cool little weird plays. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of exciting scores, but I thought there was just some interesting football happenings there.
Beautiful. No, I mean, that was a good obscure amount. I definitely wouldn't have seen that many tipped up passes as an interception unless you would have showed it to me. So I appreciate that.
And then real quickly here, what are our top 5 games to watch in week 6?
We got a lot of games to watch. Don't watch Thursday and Friday. There's nothing on. Clemson, North Carolina. Dabo losing to Bill Belichick's hilarious. Texas, Florida in the afternoon. Florida has to have it. Texas kind of needs it. Coach DeBoer gets his revenge against Vandy. That's going to be game of the week. Vandy, Bama. At that point, I would say probably Houston Tech at the evening slate. Undefeated Cougars versus the Red Raiders. Miami, Florida State. Probably not going to be that good of a game. I think Miami's pretty much better than Florida State. And then Mississippi State Aggies. Aggies not looking as good as their record, but defensively they're pretty good. Mississippi State's an interesting team. Can Can College Station's finest not fuck it up against an easy team in College Station?
And you guys have a bye week this week, right?
The UNT Mean Green, I do believe, are on a bye week.
Bye week.
So there you go. Still receiving votes into next week, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not playing, you might not get votes because people will forget you exist. But
it's okay. It's not lost.
In the current rankings, I believe you guys fit at like 28th or 29th, maybe.
We'll take it.
No way. Are you serious?
In the others receiving votes category, yeah, I think that puts you into the 29, 30, somewhere right around there.
Hell yeah.
And with our last parts of what we're going to do here, we're going to kind of scatter shoot around the place. Bethke, the WNBA playoffs are happening, but maybe a bigger story than the playoffs themselves was something that went down yesterday. I don't know when this Nafisa Collier press conference was.
Things exploded. So I guess there's two parts of this. Let's start with the basketball part. Aces beat the Fever in overtime last night, and they are now playing against the Mercury, the Phoenix Mercury, not the Liberty, not the team who was robbed of the title last year from the refs. Not the team they were. If you go back to last year, there was a huge issue with the refereeing last year.
Didn't the Liberty win it last year?
Or not, the Libs won last year. The Lynx, I'm sorry.
I thought the whole part of the whole bit was the commissioner was wearing a New York dress that night.
Yes, correct. Sorry, I misspoke.
You're good.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I didn't.
The Lynx were robbed of a title last year. Most people feel this way. The Liberty, good basketball team, but there was some nefariousness, and then they kind of exploded this year, had to fire the coach. Lynx were on path. They were a great team. Nafisa Collier is incredible. Really didn't think this was going to happen, but then Phoenix went out, remodeled their whole team, got a bunch of mercenaries, became the actual Mercs. You like that? Phoenix Mercs did it. And now they're in a WNBA final against the Vegas Aces with 4-time MVP Asia Wilson on the other side.
And what's that? Becky Hammond's third in 4 years or something like that to be in the finals?
Maybe 4 and 5 or something like that. But yeah, it's been a journey. The Aces feel like they're at the end of that journey in a lot of ways. This would be a really fun way to go. At the same time, Phoenix Mercury, really fun team. Satu Sabali is a really talented young player. They've got a lot of really fun, energetic players around her. A couple of old vets, defensive vets. So definitely wouldn't put it past the Mercury either. But that's not why we came here to talk. Got a lot on this one. So Nafisa Collier comes out and does an exit interview. Blows the whole world up. Before that, her head coach gets suspended for the final game of which they were eliminated due to her comments on the referees, to which she was fined, I believe, 6 times.
$15,000.
Yeah.
She ran onto the court and told them it was fucking malpractice.
Yes. Even funnier,
that's awesome.
Before all this happened, Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, was also fined in support of Cheryl Reeve. Thought that was notable in all of this. Kathy Engelbert allegedly had a conversation.
This is the commissioner of the WNBA.
Right, with Nafisa Collier, and said a few things that are very notable. Only losers complain about the refs. Okay, whatever. I mean, yeah, but okay, whatever. I'm not going to – don't even need to bite on that one. She said that Caitlin Clark, amongst others, should be thankful for the opportunity that they have because of the WNBA, which is not just delusional, but easily factually not real. Like, she made this – we all were here. This all just happened, Kathy. This didn't this league hasn't been some sustained league with a bunch of money running through it until like 3 or 4 years ago. What are you fucking talking about? Like, maybe the WNBA started popping off on its upward trajectory 2 years before Caitlin Clark. But this was nothing like what she has brought herself and what other women's basketball players are bringing themselves from the college game.
The only pushback I'd give is that, because, a lot of the arguments were, well, she signed all these sponsorship deals before she was ever drafted. It's like, yeah, but part of that is based on that she's going to be in the W. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, obviously she's going to keep that,
but obviously Kathy's comments are way too far in the one direction of Caitlyn owes the W.
It's also a fundamentally stupid thing to say to not only
to current active
to the second best player in basketball, best player depending on how healthy she is. Like it really is incredible. And then not to mention, this is also a lady who co-runs the league that's working currently side by side yours to ensure that the women's basketball players are staying on your schedule to play for your league, but realistically could start to become your direct rival if you don't play this well enough. We're still very early into the women's basketball game. There's nothing that says that all these fans that are specifically riding for these teams wouldn't.
Just because you have NBA in your name doesn't mean you have the staying power of the NBA.
And you could, and they do, because the NBA can step in this moment and make it better. How do they make it better, you might ask? Well, I do think Kathy Engelbert is going to need to be removed. Not because I'm trying to be a dick to her or whatever. I'm not going to put in my 2 cents on this. I'm just going to show a couple of things here where, let's see, you have Elena Deladon, Lady Dirk, as she used to be named when she was still playing, posted in support of Nafisa Collier and said that she doesn't even think Kathy Engelbert knows she retired or not. Keep in mind, Elena Deladon is certainly a Hall of Famer and the key franchise player of the Washington Mystics ever. Won a title there. Let's see what else. Angel Reese, 10 out of 10, no notes was her comment. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Stacey Dales, former All-Star, currently works as an NFL sideline reporter. She hosted a prominent WNBA event. I'm reading her tweet. Welcome to the league in Toronto. This would have been like a couple years ago. Everyone was excited. Kathy, like I said, she's hosting an event, introducing what is now the Toronto Tempo to the world. And Kathy Engelbert or the league never reached out to this person who, like I said, former All-Star in the league supporting a new expansion team. Never heard from him. Asia Wilson, also backing up Nafisa Collier. Like I said, 4-time MVP. Brianna Stewart, also similar comments, not necessarily to do with this, because she talked about this in a Hot Wings episode recorded for the fucking First We Feast guy, but without ever knowing this was a possibility.
Well,
to some extent,
full disclosure being her and Nafisa are
part of the league, right? They both run the league,
so
and they were both probably in on that conversation.
They've had these conversations before, yeah.
So that was a part of it. I think it's fair to say Kathy Engelbert does not have a great track record in the public relations department. It's also worth noting and worth giving some of the fans a little bit of credit here. She is very unpopular and has been for probably a decade. Here we go. You got some great edits from the fans here. Very excited about Nafisa attacking, who is easily one of the things I've characterized personally as WNBA back is the leadership, specifically Kathy Engelbert, because she does give off this energy of fake profiteer that doesn't care. And if you don't know who she is, this is who she is. I'm going to turn sound on for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's worth noting that that video was during the WNBA All-Star Weekend, to which they did have the meeting, and I believe that was a part of the meeting that was referenced in this. So at some point, Kathy Engelbert made those comments in and around that video. Good, Bobby Marks, if you follow the NBA, used to work for the Nets back in the day as their front office guy, and now he's a part of ESPN as their numbers front office go-to guy. If Nafisa's statements are to be believed and correct, Bobby Marks did a little math, and the attendance for Game 5, 919. Sorry. If you guess that the average ticket was $50, just $50, that's pretty reasonable guess. That's $850K in ticket revenue for one game, one playoff game, fair, but one playoff game. The entire salary cap for one team is $1.5 million. That's half of what the veteran minimum is in the NBA. So when we talk about the LeBron money and all the bullshit that gets thrown into the women being paid equal pay, it's not equal pay towards the NBA. It's the equal revenue share that is not being distributed. The WNBA clearly is hoarding most of the money, and I get it. This league bled for a very long time, and there's probably a lot of greedy owners that want their cut of this. But if you piss off the players, you're stupid, because this isn't the NFL. This isn't the NBA where you're just going to rely on the fact that no one's going to build an alternative. It's already been built, and these women will leave. And honestly, if you believe in the model for which the fans have come for this league, they will likely follow too, especially if Caitlin Clark goes. So be careful. But WNBA lockout seems imminent. So enjoy this next few games, because it might be the last WNBA we get for quite some time. Yeah, I think that's it for the W for me. I don't know if you guys have anything else on that front.
No, I thought that was pretty much the big meat of the whole thing.
Big meat.
Further context: Kathy Engelbert, former CEO of Deloitte. She's an accountant.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, Deloitte.
She does have some basketball history. Her dad played in college, but yeah, I mean more so than some,
Yeah. Well, I don't care. I need you to be personable and run a league that's going to be successful in the future.
Yeah, accountants might not be the best for that role.
So, either way, I guess Kawhi not some more conversation?
Sure. So not anything too terribly breaking, just further piling of the more and more smoke leading to potential fire. Now I'm even trying to remember what this week's revelation was.
I got you. Two of them, at least the ones I noted. This is further evidence that Aspiration specifically using Kawhi as a endorsement deal just fundamentally did not make sense.
And then we got Pablo on Clippers Media Day drops this episode that shows that well after Ballmer said he was done, knew that he got scammed, he still is giving this guy $2 million to his private charity fund.
Oh yeah, he had also had a different fund, a charity with this guy. That was a big deal to him. And then they were able to, at one point in the program, sort of walk the money along the lines of what the Raptors would have been able to give,
right.
Which I was happy just because this actually really helped clear up a lot in how free agency goes, because everyone followed this one. We all thought it was, oh, he's going back to the Raptors. They won the title. Oh, he has to go to LA. Okay, well, logically the Lakers. Oh, but the Clippers are this, endless money pool. What does he do? And then now, from what it seems like, is he was always going to leverage what the Raptors could pay him on the LA teams, to which one team tried to report him allegedly, or did report him, maybe because he didn't sign with their team. But Jeannie Buss told them to get this stuff in writing, and they never did, which is why I guess the Lakers fall through. And then the Raptors almost do.
You've heard from the Spurs, Raptors, and Lakers. Lakers most notably just because Jeannie herself has said it. But you've heard from all three of those organizations that there's been some untoward stuff involving Uncle Dennis and Kawhi, and
yeah,
it's kind of gone unchecked, despite them making a whole rule for Uncle Dennis. And I guess the other new
right, and that was
twist
the other
was the text message with Mitch Frankel,
his agent, his actual legal agent, according to the Uncle Dennis rule.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still feel very uncertain as to what the punishment is, and the fact that we're still sort of just sitting here with our hands in our laps kind of makes me feel like they're trying to make
The
us
NBA is
forget.
trying to figure out how much can we say, nope, can't prove it.
I just find it interesting because I can't imagine the new guys in Charlotte are happy about this. You know, they're trying to rebuild that place in a
With
very
what?
hard way. They have a little money, but like, I mean, seriously, like, how are you supposed to
Well, I'm
even
saying, like,
begin to
even
build something as desolate as the Charlotte Hornets when the
like in
Clippers and
Minnesota
other
where
teams?
A-Rod and what's his name had to go through so much just to get control of the team. They don't have the cash to just be throwing out bonus
So I do
salary
think there's
caps.
enough teams with legitimate gripes that the NBA is not doing enough to keep Ballmer, whoever before him, whoever currently with him, the Knicks probably very likely, you know. So I get it. I get why people would be frustrated, but at the end of the day, this is the way that it's been done. It's similar to NIL where we were like, okay, well, we knew that the cars were being bought. We knew all that stuff is, so let's get it a little more in light, maybe. Like, can we
Yeah,
make these rules and regulations a little bit
we're only
more
going to bust
clear?
schools like SMU and
So
yeah. So it's interesting. Media day happened. They asked Kawhi about it once. He said basically nothing, and that so far is it.
yeah, what a shock.
But I don't think Pablo's gonna just stop, and Cuban won't shut up about it either. So
Yeah, I did forget to show you guys Mark Cuban having a tweet on the WNBA situation,
oh
but
god,
so just a gag to laugh at Mark getting involved in it. Yeah, so basketball will be back soon. Media day was funny. There was some interesting stuff. All the restricted free agents have gone back home. The Golden State Warriors actually have a roster.
we get
Yeah,
another year of Bismack.
probably not.
He signed on for another year.
Is it a? We'll see. Dennis Smith is back with the Mavs. I don't know if he makes it through camp.
Bismack,
Roster,
I'm talking about Bismack Biyombo.
yeah, yeah. And
With
Dennis
the
Smith
Spurs.
just signed with the Mavs, but he might get cut before the season starts.
Bismack Biyombo played all last year. He's got a spot.
Bismack Biyombo, I think Bismack Biyombo got brought back by the Spurs because they're interested in who he is as a person on the bench. So I don't know if they keep him, but we'll see.
He played 28 games last year. Started 26 of them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think Bismack might be because Bismack really is like a very charitable dude, and I know the Spurs really love that with what's his name they had not that long ago, who was kind of a meh player too, but he was doing really good shit. And forgot his name, but either way,
Had a few.
no, yeah, this kid was real irrelevant, but he was I think he's also an African guy, and he was just doing really good work, and they got behind him on that shit. But it doesn't matter. MLB playoffs? Question mark.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about the actual playoffs themselves.
No Texas Rangers. No Houston Astros.
No Rangers, no Astros. The Rangers officially closed the book on the Bruce Bochy era. 3-year contract. Came in, won a World Series, and then 2 other years happened. Now that time's over, which that's fine.
It's a mercenary hire. He did what he was, paid to do.
Yeah, can't really have any complaints.
Well, you can, but you're not.
If you do, you're missing the fact that the Texas Rangers won a World Series, and that's
No, yeah, I mean this might be the only one ever, so I'm definitely very thankful for him, and
Sure.
It was fun while it lasted. I'm interested to see the future. I'm not in disagreement with the team for doing it. I have one request though. It's a very small request, and I get it if it's weird, but I don't want him to be the manager. We got to have a spot on third base or something for Wash, right?
it's interesting. Ron Washington was relieved of his duties for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Did you see how the Angels posted about it?
No.
Yeah, go ahead and keep up.
And obviously I joked about the Rangers bringing him back in, which would be really fun. I don't know that he's going to take a job that isn't a head job anywhere at this point in his life. He's younger than Bochy. Actually, he might be older than Bochy. I think he is, actually.
Let's see, Ron Washington.
Roughly
Yeah, I
the
don't.
same age, if
like I
not,
said, I
but-
don't know if I'm trying to have
Yeah.
Wash.
Oh
come
yeah,
back
Ron is
to be
73 years old, man.
I don't think I'm
Yeah,
trying to have
he's-
Wash
he's
come back
coming
to
off-
that.
He missed the back half of the year with a heart condition thing.
Why'd they make me think he died, bro?
Well, it,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Them
So
as
Ron
the
is 3
Angels,
years
that
older
makes-
than Bruce. You know.
yeah. But he gets out to the mound at twice the rate. Look, the Rangers, in a nutshell, this season, they had the number one pitching staff and the number anywhere from 28 to 32nd offense. And that's why they won and lost the exact same amount of games. That's why they missed the playoffs, because they just couldn't hit for shit. The team's already announced payroll will be lower next year, which doesn't mean they're not going to sign any free agents. Just means don't expect them to go wild.
Yeah, they're not going to make any big splash moves. Which
So you
They could.
automatically
There's
are
some
you
money coming off the
automatically
books,
telling
but-
me that Pete Alonso opting out is already not news to me?
It's possible. It just depends on who we're letting go.
I'm the whole team. Give me Kyle Tucker. Give me Pete Alonso and Wyatt Langford. Everyone else is
You're signed
whoever
up for
comes
Jake
back.
Berger for at least 2 more years.
That's fine. Berger can be DH.
I'm pretty sure Jock Peterson was only on a 1-year deal, so he'll
No,
be
he was
gone.
on a 3-year deal with 2 player options or some stupid shit, or 2 team options or some stupid shit.
John Gray's money is going to come off the books.
Yeah. Sorry to John Gray. Also,
The Adelise Garcia question.
sorry,
yeah,
Adley.
he's gone.
That's
Please don't go to
probably-
Houston, brother.
That's probably the big one.
Just don't go to Houston.
He's
That's
gonna
all
go
we're
to
asking.
Seattle.
That's cool, bro. Whatever. Seattle
with
does not
Randy.
mean that much to me.
So yeah, there's questions. I think the team is still. It could be in such a worse place. There, a few pieces here and there, a few runs here and there away from competing for a title again. So
Kyle
stuff to look
Tucker,
forward
Pete
to next year.
Alonso.
We're likely going to
Fix that
see
right up.
the Skip Shoemaker managing era, which is kind of what he was hired to do, was be Bochy's man in waiting. So unless
We do
something
feel
crazy
more
happens-
confident about that. I mean, I also agree. I haven't heard anything. I don't think people care that much when the Rangers job comes open, but
the fact that they hired him and his former bench coach was Bochy's bench coach this year, it just seems like they were pretty much ready for that. Unless maybe if we had won, then Bochy might have been like, "Hey,"
and
let me
he
come
went
back.
and
But
he was fairly notable. Went to Miami, couldn't
manager
get it
of
done.
the year for Miami, national
Gotcha.
manager of the year, and then just you can't.
Miami.
Miami's interesting. They do have 2 World Series wins, but every other year you're like, oh god, that's one of the worst teams in all of pro sports. So.
Interesting one.
But that's pretty much the Rangers. The MLB playoffs have started. For
No one eliminated yet.
no
Tonight
one
was the first
eliminated
opportunity.
yet, but
This guy didn't come in
Dodgers-
clutch enough.
The Dodgers are about 9 outs away from knocking the Reds out.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And that's a fun series for everybody because the Dodgers payroll is like 100 times what the Reds is right now, something
Yes.
like that.
And I'm glad that it's paying off the way you would assume it would. Because it's like if they don't do that, I get the
we saw
underdog
it last
story.
year, I believe, right? Or maybe the year before, the Dodgers came out real early.
No,
But
what they did was nasty this offseason. The Dodgers are disgusting with free agency. They better fucking win it.
We're getting the classic Red Sox-Yankees matchup. Unfortunately, it's a 3-game series. That's way more fun to have in a 5 or 7, really in a 7. But that's tied at 1, so they'll play a tiebreaker. Probably not tomorrow. Maybe the next day. It might be tomorrow. They might play all 3 in a row.
I think if I remember correctly, they rushed you through that wild card schedule.
Yeah.
So, yep, 6 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. So, yeah, 5 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. We'll get Game 3 of Red Sox-Yankees. Tomorrow afternoon will be Game 3 of Detroit-Cleveland. Also tomorrow afternoon, Game 3 of San Diego-Chicago. So, a lot going on there.
Nice.
That's pretty much what's going on with baseball. Before we maybe hit this last.
Oh wait, no. Who's your surrogate team? You have to pick a surrogate team. Caesar, pick a surrogate team. Do you know who's playing in it?
Padres.
Padres are not. Oh no, the Padres are in there. Yeah,
I'll take the Brewers.
narrative-wise, I'll let the Mariners have it because I
Fuck
really
that.
don't care.
I'd be okay
I
with
really don't
Cleveland
care.
also.
No, Cleveland and Detroit, they're just boring baseball teams. New York and Boston, I'm cool with Boston because they have Chapman. They have Nate Lowe. I can get around that. Blue Jays, no. We're still no. That's real beef. Mariners, I don't have real beef. There's not real beef there. I can't choose the Dodgers because I'm upset with them, even though I like the elitism usually. Cincinnati's not
They
realistic,
kicked ice
obviously.
out of their parking lot, right?
Ooh, you know what? I actually do find it more interesting for the Phillies. I like Bryce Harper and the narrative for Bryce Harper, so I'm gonna go Phillies. Actually, retract for Phillies.
Fair enough. Yeah, but that'll wrap up baseball. Quick programming note: starting next week, we'll be slowly working in a tiny little bit of hockey here and there. As the regular season does start in a week from tomorrow. So,
as they say in hockey,
let's do that hockey. I guess lastly, I don't even know what we're actually going to say about any of this here. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if y'all saw it. He got asked about it. And
yeah, they all did. There was the big article that came out with all of that.
Yeah, and his quote, it just made me just like, you're just out here milking your dad's story. Then that's all that's been in your entire career.
He just said the check changed his mind.
There's a big comedy festival happening in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, and a bunch of comedians are getting roasted for going. Pete Davidson, among the top of the list because of his father's death on 9/11 and the purported connections
that country has
between
to that event.
Saudi Arabia and that event. Bill Burr, who is often seen as kind of a man of the people, taking the approach of, well, the U.S. has a bad track record too, so I'm not going to hold that against these people.
Oh, I mean, I hear you, but like, no,
it
doesn't.
And you know, it's the funniest thing is that I guess
you're an American idiot. You're stuck here. We're all stuck here doing this. We don't get a choice in that. You're still made the choice,
and you're not doing shows for the richest of the rich, the elites of America.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe Lockheed Martin has him on retainer.
They might, yeah, but that's not normally where his money's made.
Here's the thing, too. It's I guess, aesthetic difference between Bill Burr and Shane Gillis. Like, people would think, oh, Shane Gillis, right? Because he seems like the Barstool type. And he's like, no, that guy said, fuck that. I'm taking a principled stand and not doing that.
His quote was great. Did you have the actual quote?
I don't have his actual quote on me.
That you don't 9/11 your friends.
There you go.
Look, and he's luckily for him at least put himself in a position where it's not like he's hurting for money. I can understand some of these comedians I've never heard of being offered over six figures for one show.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, they don't need any of that. I'm talking about the names I've never even heard of that are on this list.
The Dave Chappelle one too, it's not, to me, it's not actually that surprising considering
not surprising at all.
How his worldview has teetered more right as he's gotten older and more richer, of course. But it's like, man, you turned down such a huge bag way back in the day, only to come back around and just take this one.
You either die the hero.
Yeah, I think with Chappelle, there's just I think his infamous show that turned a lot of people for him. I think it's all based on some unfortunate when it comes to the way that certain demographics view other demographics, some that aren't more traditional in our conversation and our lexicon, like we do with racism and like we do with the white conservatives. And for Chappelle, I think he's dug a hole in that. And I think he also is one of these old guys who gets more of a kick out of riling people up over just debating cancel culture more than ever actually caring about its existence or non-existence. So a lot of those guys just didn't surprise me. But Pete Davidson was bro of the year. That one's crazy. Watch a documentary, man. I don't know. Maybe he can't. I guess that's fair. Maybe Pete Davidson can't watch a documentary.
I mean, if I was going to take his side on it, what you would likely say is that the Saudi Arabia nationals that were reportedly involved were all enemies of the royal family at the time. So that would be they're acting outside of that bounds, but that would be my, if I'm trying to argue for his defense there, if I had
it's also
to.
important to
That he
remember
knows
that
too.
it's also important to remember that even if we took 9/11 out of the equation, this country never
Lots of
asked why
executions.
this never. Okay, again, even that's something we can. Let's take Bill Burr's advice. Can we judge that kind of stuff here? Some of our allies. Okay, you're right. We see plenty of those examples that we're co-signing. Unfortunately, what don't we still have in America? Technically, I mean, you could make an argument for the way that white collar America treats blue collar America, but at the end of the day, we don't have the big one anymore. Saudi Arabia still got the big one. So, you know what I mean? Set those people free, and then maybe we can have a conversation about how we can overlook Saudi Arabian investment.
Well, it's also who's signing the check, because when you're doing shows here, they're probably not coming direct. Your check's not coming from the Oval Office or from Langley.
Well, like I said, again, you could argue what America does isn't too far away from the big S word, but like it's not the same. It's not.
I'm just saying who's paying you, because it's not like you're not just going to play some random club in Saudi Arabia. You're getting paid by their highest office to be there. So
yeah, and it's going to continue to be the conversation of how much do you actually care about this, and the answer is going to continue to dwindle to no, because Saudi Arabia is going to bail out a lot of stupid things in America because America is having a lot of money problems in a lot of places. So
yeah, the NFL just opened
don't be
up,
surprised.
The NFL just opened up the doors for private equity, so that's going to swoop in here soon.
And yeah, I mean, this is
before,
the football league,
before
right?
They do that, they've invested into the video game sphere.
Right.
The company that makes all of the sports games.
Which is good, because I think this kind of lets us know
there's nothing good about it.
Yeah, well, it kind of it's the final.
Unless you're saying it'll break their monopoly because other people will start making games because their games actually suck that bad. But
like the only
they have to lose the
part of
license
EA
to
getting
that,
bought out is
NFL license is open
the chance that EA dies.
NFL is going to get saved though if they keep up with college football, because it's super easy.
But I think the EAFC will carry EA for millennia. So
yeah. I mean that is their biggest winner, and I get why they did it.
The microtransactions. Oh my god!
And they've got a lot. I mean, because they also have the license to the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice.
Some quality games, mostly terrible. And that's
and
gonna get
beyond
worse thanks to
that,
MBS
they are greed
and,
just embodied.
Well, they're just trying to find things to do with the money. There's only so much you can put it in. So they just got to keep finding other places to put it.
Texas Tech Red Raider football,
not too far off.
I'm telling you, my dream for NIL to result in a giant rule change because some Saudi Arabian investment group helped fucking, I don't know, Louisiana Tech just go from nobody to everybody in 1 year. And then bankrolls them because it doesn't sustain.
All to come to this school.
No, I want it to be stupid. I want like them to come in with new building everything. Like we're rebuilding the stadium, we're doing it all. But no, yeah, it's a funny world, and sports washing will continue. It always has.
That's probably all I got. On Sunday I went and watched Ralph Barbosa do some stand-up at the Addison Improv. Pretty cool place. I'd never been there. He's a pretty funny dude if you've never seen him.
Were you able to ask him his thoughts on performing in Saudi Arabia?
Did not. Wasn't really a conversation.
Did he even bring it up at some point?
Well, you could always be bold enough to heckle. Be the guy who just can't not be in the.
Nah, he was talking to guys and the people in the front. We were in a table in the back, but it's still a good time. I would suggest if you've never been to the Addison Improv,
I have been
cool.
A couple times. It's a really nice place.
And that's probably all I got.
I once saw my dad once heckled the guy who played Stuart from Mad TV.
Oh, that's good. I like
Nice.
that guy.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, make sure to wake up at 8 a.m. Central Time to watch Vikings Browns with Dylan Gabriel starting his first.
Yeah,
NFL game.
it is kind of a weak college football slate, but then the week after gets pretty hectic.
That's it, boys. We'll talk to you next week.
See you next week.